Barack Obama attempts to win re-election, while Mitt Romney hopes to bring a more conservative vision to the White House. The poor economy and Obama's signature health care initiatives loom large in the 2012 election. Obama will attempt to make the case that his stewardship prevented economic disaster after the 2008 financial crisis. Romney will try to frame his business and executive experience as a contrast to the background and results of Obama. Hello everybody, welcome back to the video, and we're doing another revisit. Because something that ate away at me was not being able to defeat Obama in a couple of new campaign trails from last year. So I decided let's go back and revisit those. Well, I'm going to go back and revisit 2012 because I believe I actually did go back in a live stream to attempt to do 2008, and that didn't go too well. So we're going to do 2012, trying to win as Mitt Romney. He enters the campaign as a Republican challenger, a record of public service as the former governor of Massachusetts. He also had Bain Capital. He's generally perceived as a moderate and competent manager. His evolving positions on healthcare and social issues, some conservatives question his sincerity. His challenge is to win that faction without alienating mainstream voters. Okay, so typically if I'm playing as the loser, I don't want to go with their real-life running mate. Because to me, the first step is always go with someone else. Who did I go? I think I went with Rubio. So let's not go with Ryan or Rubio because... Okay. Tim Pawlenty has served as the governor of Minnesota for 8 years and briefly sought the Republican nomination in 2011. He brings a reputation as a moderate and a strong manager, and he could help burnish Romney's credentials in the upper Midwest. However, if he wants to unite the conservative base of his party, he may not be the best choice. Rob Portman, a senator from Ohio and former cabinet member for George W. Bush. He'll bring insider experience to a Republican administration. He's worked with a particular focus on fiscal and economic issues, where he has advocated for much conservative legislation. Ohio is a must-win state for both candidates, and Portman's presence could be crucial to a Republican victory there. All right, well, let's go with that. Let's see, what does our starting map look like? Oh, we have a lot of ground to make up. We need to hit 270, so I need to get 64 more electoral votes. Will be the overriding theme of your nomination speech. I'll emphasize the point that the Republican Party has a big tent. My message will be a message of hope. After 4 years of economic blight, the American people need to feel good about themselves, and they need to know that their efforts will be rewarded with material prosperity. I will hammer on the theme that Obama has completely failed the United States as president. I will address the long-term danger that liberalism has to create an ossified, uncreative society. Let's go with the message of hope. This could work very well for you. Just make sure you also offer some policy specifics to keep your base fired up. Okay. That kept the needle pretty much the same. In most general terms, what will be your overall campaign strategy against Obama? My surrogates have plenty of points to make about the failures of the Obama administration. As the nominee, I will take the high road and stick to a message of optimism, and American renewal. I will reach out to moderates and conservative Democrats and attempt to build an all-encompassing coalition. It's time that America had a true leader in charge. I will emphasize the conservatism of my views and my governing philosophy. I will remind the American people that I'm strong on defense and that I'm pro-life, pro-free market, pro-business, and deeply religious. We will attack Obama relentlessly. Let's try to keep the high road. Everyone knows that conservative activists are fantastic at negative advertising. Let them do their thing while you give positive, uplifting solutions. Okay. Okay, that helps us out a little bit. Let's go to Iowa. Do you support allowing the Bush tax cuts to expire for high-income households at the end of 2012? Perhaps we can let these expire at some point in the future, but for now, when you're mired in a stagnant economy, you need to avoid tax increases. We should keep the cuts for the foreseeable future. Our most productive citizens need further tax cuts to stimulate business confidence. I support letting the cuts expire. Let's go with keeping them for the foreseeable future. This strikes a good balance between appealing to your base and winning the undecided voter. Okay. And that sunk us. Okay. The Affordable Care Act, i.e. Obamacare, will cap annual premiums, require minimum coverage levels, and outlaw discrimination against people with pre-existing conditions. What do you think? I'm convinced this program will work. No, we can't go with that. This program will be a disaster. Not only is it an unconstitutional violation of personal freedom, but it will lead to a decline in American healthcare and will prove to be financially irresponsible and financially impossible to maintain without socializing the healthcare system. This is the wrong way to reform the American healthcare system. We should be focusing on malpractice reform and on cutting red tape for private insurers. There should be a public insurance company offering healthcare to all Americans, private insurers. Let's go with this is the wrong way to reform. This is a decent response if you're trying to appeal to a larger base. Okay. We need something that can help swing this in our favor. Let's go to Pennsylvania. What is guiding your foreign policy philosophy? Human rights. This time we cut allegiances with dictators. Non-intervention. Most of our foreign troop deployments are reflects of the Cold War. American exceptionalism. Providence has given America to the world as an inspiration. Pragmatism. Our foreign policy right now is effective. Let's go with American exceptionalism. Seems like a safe bet. Okay. We're winning the popular vote. And if we can flip an extra state to our side, we can have this locked in the bag, but we still got a long way to go. Recent Supreme Court decision affirmed an Arizona law allowing officers to check suspected illegal immigrants for proof of immigration status. Do you think it's a good idea? The proper authority for enforcement rests with the federal government. This law goes further than federal laws, and even if constitutional, should be repealed. No. This is an unconscionable violation of civil rights. I don't want to comment on an issue that's best left to the voters of Arizona. The federal government has forced Arizona's hand by being too lax on enforcement for far too long. Okay, that looks, yeah, that might have hurt us a little bit. We're losing Ohio. What is your position on gay marriage? Okay. I'm opposed to this personally. I think that, different states have different opinions on the matter. Under no circumstances should the sacred institution of marriage be undermined. It should be protected at the federal level. That is not the answer we're going to go with. I think civil unions are an acceptable compromise for the majority of mainstream Americans. Oh, we're back to where we started. Okay. I say that maybe we go with the states. That seems like a safe response. Conservatives in your party are not looking for someone who wavers on this issue, but this may be a safer response overall. Okay. Would you advocate cutting Peace Corps funding to help address the deficit? This is a valuable component of our international presence. We should maintain the funding we have in place, which is minuscule in proportion to our overall budget. Let's go with that. We need something that really helps us out. Do you believe the federal government is doing enough to enforce laws against employing illegal immigrants? The Department of Homeland Security is deporting hundreds of thousands each year. E-Verify is a good start. Not at all. Yeah, not at all. Okay, that helped us out. A bunch of these states are actually, if we could flip Ohio and Virginia and keep those in our camp, I mean, that would be the election right there. Scott Brown is currently fighting the good fight in the Massachusetts Senate race. Would you be open to offering him a position in your administration if he falls short there? We like Scott right where he is in the U.S. Senate. I'm confident that's where he'll be in 2013. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. He's a bit moderate for the kind of Republican I envision having in my cabinet. I've known him for many years. We'll go with that answer. Seems like a safe one. We're winning the popular vote, but we're losing electorally. Okay, should large banks like Chase, Citibank, and Bank of America be broken up to reduce the risk of another financial crisis? Okay, we're winning. Winning in the electoral, but we're losing the popular. Should large banks? Okay, this is not the best solution for us to take. The last thing we need right now in the financial sector is some kind of arbitrary destabilizing government action. We passed the Dodd-Frank Act to analyze systemic risks. Too big to fail is too big to exist. These banks would never have grown so large in the first place without colluding with the federal government. Let's go with the top one. Okay. Overall, are you satisfied with the trade relationship between the U.S. and China? It has destroyed middle-class jobs for close to 3 decades. There should be a model for other trade agreements as the developing world continues to seek the benefits of globalization. I'm not very satisfied at all. Off the record, however, we cannot change much without risking a Chinese flight from our treasuries and a possible trade war. The relationship has its pros and cons. China should be doing more. I'm not very satisfied at all. Okay. How do you view the practice of hydraulic fracturing in the Dakotas and elsewhere? It would be irresponsible to speculate on this practice without a thorough understanding of the facts. One of the first things I'll do after the election is to establish a bipartisan commission to fully investigate this issue and to present its recommendations. I'm very skeptical of the idea we can trust oil companies to look out for the interests of the little guy. It's a generational shift in the world energy game in the favor of the United States. It poisons our drinking water and postpones the development of alternative energy sources. First one. Okay. What do you think we should do next in regards to Social Security? Talking about a bankrupt Social Security program is a right-wing scare tactic. The projected shortfall that people talk of, we're not even talking about the trust fund making a net payout until 2033. Let's go with this one. That's a solid play. Don't give the liberals any openings to attack you on Social Security issue. Okay. Let's go to Minnesota. What is your opinion on the Tea Party movement? A funny thing happened on July 20th, 2009. Millions of people who supported Bush's deficit suddenly flip-flopped into budget hawks. Conservatives operate under the Big Tent philosophy. This is just one of the many valued groups within the conservative umbrella. The Tea Party is a positive, invigorating force in American politics. They're drawing badly needed attention to our government deficits. Let's go with the Big Tent philosophy. Okay. Are you satisfied with the provisions within the 2012 federal highway bill that could salvage over 2 million jobs in the construction industry? We should monitor these expenditures very closely to make sure that they're being allocated properly. There's always the chance of cronyism. Maybe we had our disagreements over the exact size and nature of the spending, but nobody seriously thinks that we should stop funding our highways. Ideally, we should be spending much more on infrastructure. Let's go with maybe we had our disagreements. Okay, we're winning. We just need to make sure we don't do anything big. Is it time for the federal government? Is it time for the federal government to cut spending, even with the economy growing at less than 2% annually? It's not a good idea to cut the size of the government in the midst of the recession. Absolutely not. If anything, we should be increasing the size of the government. Nope. We're just now asking this question. Yes, it is one of the biggest obstacles to private sector capital investment is the size and debt of the federal government. Okay, let's go with okay. And we're winning. Okay. And we got 50% of the popular vote. Okay. To what extent will you speak about your religious faith on the campaign trail? On occasion, it makes sense to bring this up. Over the years, I've helped out many in need through the Mormon Church, both with my time and through charity. The Mormon Church has been the guiding force in my life. I already made one speech that was entirely devoted to this issue back in 2008. Bringing it up more often runs the risk of distracting the American people from the most important issues of the campaign. On occasion, it makes sense to bring this up. Let's do that. Okay. Would you nominate any Democrats to your cabinet if elected? I can't say who exactly will be in the cabinet, but I'm not opposed to having Democrats in my administration. It's too early to say who exactly will be included in my cabinet when I win this election. In all cases, I will nominate the most qualified individual. Hillary Clinton has done an outstanding job as Secretary of State. I would be glad to have her on board. Let's go for I'm not opposed. And that hurt us. Do you think reduced penalties and increased treatment for drug users would help reduce the flow of drugs from Latin America? That solution is so obvious, it's a shame it hasn't been implemented yet. Have we forgotten what the early 1980s were like in Miami? Perhaps there's a role for this, but our primary focus should be on targeting the cartels overseas and providing military and economic support to any government that will assist us in that endeavor. Let's do that one. And let's put us back in. Okay, we just need to make sure nothing goes wrong. Recent reports highlighted the large amount of money you and your wife spent on racing horses. Have you ever bet more than $10,000 on a racehorse? Sometimes you feel strongly about something, you have to back that up with a little cash. It's nothing for someone who is as wealthy as I am. Absolutely not. I wouldn't think about making a bet this large. Let's do that. I mean, if it ended right here with these numbers, I mean, could you imagine how close that would be? Literally losing it by one state. During your tenure, Bain Capital laid off thousands of workers at various companies that had purchased. Are you proud of your work at the company? We all made mistakes when we were younger. I'm no exception. Joseph Schumpeter coined the term of creative destruction. We created numerous companies like Staples, which are American success stories employing thousands of people. Let's go with that one. Okay. Michigan. Okay. Should military women serve in combat roles? I'll defer to military brass on this question. Separate is inherently unequal. It's a very bad idea. What we have now is a good compromise. I'll defer to military brass on this question. Okay. Alrighty. In the past, you've expressed varying opinions about abortion. Can you reassure the evangelical Christian movement that you are 100% pro-life in all circumstances? We should be focusing on more important issues such as educating the next generation of American children to compete effectively in the global economy. I'm proud moderate. We have to be realistic. I'm pro-life in most cases, but we also need exceptions. I do agree, however, that taxpayers should never be forced to finance this practice. I am deeply pro-life. The taking of life should never be legal under any circumstances. Let's go for we have to be realistic. That hurt us big time. Okay. This is going to be a close one. Should the United States contribute funds to help stabilize the European Union's sovereign debt problems in order to prevent a possible debt contagion. There's no way the United States should be shipping money overseas to support a European model welfare state. That would be the height of lunacy. We need to focus on getting our own house in order, or we will soon find ourselves in their condition. I trust they'll find a way to resolve it. I support a bailout if necessary. Let's focus on getting our own house in order. Election night has arrived. Settle in and wait for the returns, however long it may take. Best of luck. Okay, let's see how we go. And, I mean, yeah, we were going to get Kentucky. And there we go. Indiana. Okay, come on. Okay, we're picking up some of the South. Actually, by pretty good amounts. Yeah, we were never going to get Illinois. Got a little bit of a lead. We've got a good amount going. What's concerning is that Pennsylvania, and there's Florida. Okay, we really need one more big state in our favor, and we got this. Okay. Congratulations, you won this year's election. Click OK to view the rest of the returns or skip straight to the final results. We hope you have a nice victory speech prepared for your supporters. Let's just see how it goes. Interesting that Pennsylvania hasn't been filled in yet. There's still a few states left, and I think, yep, Obama got those 3 there. But it's interesting, right? There's Alaska. Okay. All right. 3 states left. Okay. Wisconsin, we didn't get. Okay. Pennsylvania. Look how close Pennsylvania was. Pennsylvania was the final state. Congratulations. You've won the 2012 election. Congratulations. Despite a well-fought battle from Barack Obama, you've become the first Mormon president and prevented the 3rd re-election in a row. It was close, though. Your slim margins will keep the Senate in Democrats' hands, so be prepared to make concessions to your propositions. Romneycare will most likely be replacing Obamacare, although they aren't all too different, as well as the Bush tax cuts will be extended to help the economy grow. If you're able to recover and don't make any major mistakes, you should be able to win re-election in 2016. Get ready to move into the White House. And look at that. So this is what is called the Blue Wall, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, right? And the interesting thing for these, look at the statistics. It was 0.2% that flipped Wisconsin. It was 0.1% that got Pennsylvania. We probably weren't going to get Michigan, but that's still interesting. Obviously, we really had no shot at Illinois. I want to see what these other ones were. New York, we didn't really have a shot at. Vermont, not really. Oh, look how close New Hampshire was. And then we got Florida, obviously. New Mexico, we lost. We won Colorado, which is pretty cool. California, we weren't going to get. Oregon, Washington, yeah, we weren't going to get these right here. But, yeah, so let's go most electoral votes. Okay, no, we know that one. Closest states. The closest state was New Hampshire. Then it was Pennsylvania. Then Wisconsin. Then Nevada. Nevada was the closest state that we won. So I want to know, closest win we had was Nevada. Highest percentage was Utah. Highest Obama was Washington, D.C. Okay. New Mexico, where we get to see some for third parties as well. Washington, D.C. Okay. I want to know, what was the... Okay. Washington, D.C. What was it for ones that we won? Up Utah. Wow, that's crazy. That Utah was our biggest victory. Either way, we won. I successfully defeated Barack Obama. Bye.